그리고 HOT6 GSL.
What's up, guys? Welcome to the GSL Code S. Tasos is back from vacation with Artosis. We're going right into an interview now with our 4 players in what should be the best group in the round of 32.
That's right. This is the true group of death. Very excited about it. Tasos, can't wait to see what these guys have to say.
Me too, for sure.
보여줬던 김유진 선수와 또
He
오랜만에
already says we're here with the
선수들
semi-finalist of last season SOS.
먼저 김유진 선수 안녕하세요.
He's one of our players that's back in Code S after a long time. Hello.
새로 시작하게 됐는데 소감 어떠세요?
우선 첫 경기부터
How do you feel coming into this season?
좀 쉬운 저 걸리기를 바랬는데 생각보다 다 잘하는 선수들이라서
I wanted to be in a really easy group, but all the players in my group currently seem very strong. So I'm going to do my best starting right at the round of 32.
누가 센 것 같아요.
그 정도까지는 아니지만 센 선수들이다. 그 선수들이 누군지 궁금한데 소개해드리겠습니다. 먼저 삼성갤럭시의 송병구 선수 안녕하세요.
네,
Let's see our
안녕하세요.
other strong players. We
그리고
have
또
Stork over here. Hello, Stork. This is hello.
CJ 정우영 선수
And now over to Byung. Hello,
안녕하세요.
Byung. Yes, hello.
네, 그리고 우승자 출신 KT 루스터 이승현 선수
And the 3-time
안녕하세요.
GSL champion live.
왜 거기 앉아 있으세요? 지난 시즌에
She said, "Why are you sitting over there? You should be right next to me."
소감 어떠세요?
So you were eliminated very early last season. Tell us about that. I prepared really hard for this season, so I think I can make it even farther than I did.
이승현 선수와도
Well, certainly farther than last time.
만나고 김유진 선수도 있네요. 여기 선수들과 인연이 있는 것 같은데 반가우세요?
아니요, 전혀 반갑지 않아요.
그래요?
How do you like your group? Byung?
싫어하는 사람만 좀 골라서 걸립니다.
이승현 선수를
Everybody here are the players I hate to play against the most. So I'm not happy with my
이번에도
group.
뭐 운 좋게 얻어 걸리면은
네.
뭐 될 것 같긴 하네요.
이승현 선수는 정우영
He
선수
said, if I'm very
반가우세요?
lucky today, maybe I'll be able to defeat Life in my first match. Life, what do you have to say about
지난
that?
시즌에 정우영 선수로 인해서 어떻게 보면 16강에서 아쉬운 탈락을 했는데 복수하고 싶은 마음은 없었어요?
그래서 좀 사람들
So you were knocked out by Byung last
네.
season in the round of 16. Do you want that revenge, Life?
해봐야 아니까
그렇죠. 그때 정우영 선수께서
He says, I'm not sure how it'll go. I guess I'll just have to play my best.
빅스마일을 보여주셨잖아요. 그때 이 정우영 선수의 미소가 부각되기도 했었거든요.
네.
오늘 준비는 잘 되셨어요?
So Byung,
저그전
how did you
준비가
prepare for
잘
today's
됐어요.
matches?
토스전이
I prepared really hard for my TVZ specifically, but
저희가
against
경기
Protoss,
전에 선수들의
frankly, I've been having a hard time to
컨디션이
practice.
참 주옥 같은 말씀을 해주셨어요. 오늘 나의 컨디션은 토스에게 달려있다. 참 주옥 같은 멘트였는데 오늘 토스가 2명 있거든요. 어떤 토스가 좀 걱정되세요?
So you got 2 Protoss players in your group. Out of those 2 Protoss players, who do you fear the most?
코치님의
네.
Because I fear Stork the most.
두려워요. 두려운
He's a player
정도예요.
coach. I'm especially afraid of him.
되게 잘하시더라고요. 코드에 보니까 아주
네.
되게
I saw his Code A matches. He looked pretty intimidating, and I think he's improved a
정우영
lot.
선수가
So yeah, I'm probably more scared of him than SOS.
하셨는데
네.
자신감 생기세요?
그래도 오늘 경기하러 왔는데
네.
코치라고 하니까 약간 좀
I'm here to
당황스럽네요.
play right
그쵸,
now.
선수죠.
네,
As a player,
코치로
not as a
불러주니까
coach.
좋은데
네.
I don't know why Byung keeps referring to me as a coach.
만나게 되면은 만나게 될지 안 될지는 모르겠지만 최선을
네.
다해서 좋은 경기 한번 보여드리겠습니다.
네.
I'm not sure if I will be playing against Byung today, but if I do, I'll play my best games and show him
그래서
what I
어렵진
made out of.
않았어요?
한 종족씩 같은 조에 있는 건 상관이 없었는데
네.
오랜만에 올라오기도 했고 이제 저희 팀원이
I didn't really
32강에 많이
care
올라왔잖아요. 근데
that there were Terrence and Zerks in my group.
제가 저희 팀에 4명인가
But
있는데
anyways, it's been a
제가
long
제일
time since
어려운
I've been in
조로
Code S, so I'm going to have to make some adjustments, play well, and get out of this group
편성하시는
today.
분한테 실망하기도 했고
I also feel that this group is probably the hardest
이
group in the
4명
round of
중에
32.
구매조라고
It's a group
하는데
of death.
네.
이 3명의 선수들이
Well said,
구매조
Yeah, that's right.
인원들이고 저는
Those people
좀
that didn't think that, they're wrong.
올라가기 위한 이
You
약간
say
보너스
people
같은
are saying it's a group of death, but I feel my opponents are the better
많이
players.
불편하고 대신 열심히 준비해 왔습니다.
So I'm going to have to show my fans how hard this group is
저는 살짝
by
엄청나게
actually getting out of this
생각이
group
드는데
with all these good players.
송병구 선수의 푸프전 하면 약간 믿고 보는 경기가 있잖아요. 그런데 이 경기가 푸프전이거든요.
So you've always been strong in mirror matches, Stork, and now you're playing against the Protoss SOS. Are you feeling
이겨본 적이
confident?
없어서 스타트로
네.
그래서 좀 왜 하필 토스를 만나도
So I'm confident against other Protoss players, but not very confident against SOS. So I was pretty disappointed to see him in my group, and then I actually had to play him first.
네.
저한테 운 없는 대진인 것 같아요.
I think I was very unlucky when it came down to this group setup.
아쉽게도 4티어는 1티어를 만나야 하기 때문에
네,
어쩔 수
그래서
없었어요.
그 김영식 선수를 만나고 싶었는데
네.
아쉽더라고요.
자, 김유희 선수 상대 전적이
I really wanted to play against Myunshik actually, so I was actually pretty bummed out that he wasn't in this group.
저는 근데 경구 형이 엔트리 짜느라서 연습을 못할 줄 알았는데 연습을 하고 오셨다고 하더라고요. 그래서
네. 그 연습을 해야죠.
I always thought that Stork was too busy coaching to be in a major tournament, but after hearing about his ladder records and his reputation from other players, it turns out he actually practices a lot. So I'm going to have to be pretty careful with how I execute my play today.
조선우 선수가 엄청난 경기력을
Best way to understand the game and thus coach it
혹시 테란을 만나게
is to play a
된다면
lot.
그런 테란과 연습한 김민시 선수의 테란전도 궁금하긴 하거든요. 어떠세요?
제가 테란전 자신 있는데
네.
How's your PvP these days, SOS? You must have practiced a lot with Maru.
깨져가지고
오.
좀 자신감이 많이 떨어졌어요. 그래서
I was really confident until my recent losses against Innovation.
자, 이렇게
Innovation
모처럼
recently. But
보는
anyways, I
선수들인
practiced hard in
만큼
that.
더 반가우실 텐데요. 마지막으로
practiced hard, so
선수들의
hopefully I can show you
각오를
guys great PvP
들어보겠습니다.
tonight.
먼저 김유희 선수 이번에는 결승 가야죠.
32강부터
So your goals, your expectations for the season.
네, 알겠습니다. 자, 그리고
I'm just
역시
going to have to advance
참
step by
많은
step,
분들이
take it one game at
응원하고
a time.
계신 송병구
What about you,
선수
Stork? Your expectations for this tournament and this match here today?
인터뷰도 하셨더라고요.
네.
그만큼 많은 분들이 응원을 하고 있습니다. 각오 들어보겠습니다.
Also, a lot of fans are looking forward to seeing you around at 32 matches.
좋은 결과가 있기를 바라겠습니다.
네,
Well, I
조심씩
prepared hard
가야죠.
today. I hope I have some great results.
네.
And I
자,
really
그리고
look forward to
수고해주신
Amber
정우영
Advance
선수
participating in the group
벌써
selection.
7번째 코드 S 도전이거든요.
네.
So if Young gets your seventh Code S now.
3라운드 그리고 우승이 간절하실 것 같은데 각오 들어보겠습니다.
매 시즌 30강
What do you expect out of today's games?
절실했었는데 이번엔 좀
Every time I play in the
시작부터
round of 32,
만만치
I'm always
않아서
desperate to advance further.
이번엔 뚫으면은 정말
Once
좋은
again,
결과 있을
my
것
group is pretty tough, so
알겠습니다. 자, 그리고 이승현
you know,
선수
my condition's
오늘의
good,
첫
but we'll just have to
상대
see.
정우영
I
선수
expect
계속
better than
엄살을
normal.
보여주고 계신데 자, 각오 들어보겠습니다.
왜 엄살을 부리는지 모르겠는데
네.
저도 준비를 많이 해서
네.
재밌는 경기 나올 수 있을 것 같아요.
네.
잘해보겠습니다.
I prepared well also,
알겠습니다.
so I think
자,
it's going to be a fun
이렇게
day today.
이승현 선수까지 이번 시즌 각오를 들어봤는데요. 저는 첫 번째 진출자와 잠시 후에 돌아오도록 하겠습니다.
Are those called like rosary beads or something?
No, I don't think those are rosary beads actually. I think that's just like that's like a bracelet you get at PAXUD or something. That's as far as I can tell.
Well, he's a little bit fidgety with that today.
Well, I mean, you know, he did
Keeping
do
that
well.
8 p.m. up during the
Specifically,
interview.
He didn't. Yeah, I noticed. I was actually distracting me when we saw the interview there. So this is the toughest group that we got here today.
Yeah, it's a group of death for
Like
sure.
three-time GSL Code S Champion was knocked out last season. He's here to try to do better this time around. We got Stork. If you're unfamiliar with Stork and you've been following StarCraft II for a long time, Stork is the veteran. It's going to sound weird when I say that, but it's true. He's the veteran RTS player. He was one of the best Brood War players of all time.
Yeah.
And obviously, with Young and SOS, they speak for themselves. They've been very successful over the last few years.
Yeah, it's such a tough group, and you know, the people that didn't think it's a group of death, you're dumb, and it is. But specifically, a lot of them would cite Stork being the weak link here, but Stork is extremely good. Like
Yeah.
he's very, very good right now. He's pretty on top of his game. Like if he can clean up some of his execution in micro, like this guy, he could get out of this group. He actually has a reasonable shot. He's actually like he's really smart, guys. He's probably actually just smarter at RTS in general than these other three players
best builds in
ever
Brood
in
War.
StarCraft 1.
When a replay would come out, because we didn't have a lot of VODs back then, I mean, nothing compared to what we got now with StarCraft 2. When a Stork replay was leaked and you were a Protoss player, you got on that stuff.
Oh, yeah.
You got on that. You watched that.
Didn't
in
matter
the
what race you
slowest
played. If you cut a
speed
Stork rep.
possible, and you took notes, because his
Over and
builds,
over.
they could cut corners perfectly.
He would literally do something dumb like run a shuttle with 4 Dark Templars into a turret, lose it without dropping any out, and then beat you anyways.
Yeah.
Because he has more units than you. And that's on that was like build order based. Obviously his macro was fantastic as well, but you played Protoss, so let's not pretend. But no, I mean the guy is really good.
Really smart guy. I swear, out of all the build orders I've seen throughout, StarCraft and StarCraft 2.
Yeah.
Storks, even now in StarCraft 2, they never fail to impress.
Dude,
he really has this deep understanding. Now, what's funny about Stork, also to note historically, not known for the best micro in the business, not known for the best control.
Well, today's energy bar.
Oh, this is my first day back at Code S. I didn't know we had this here.
But Terran OP, wow. All right, well.
Now, what we need below this energy bar is we need a revenge meter, okay? That's what we need to see.
Yeah.
We see SOS is lower, but does he have Ultra 2 picks? And is that going to be good in whatever matchup he's in? That's what I need to know.
Well, I tell you what, to give my 2 cents about this group tasteless, I think Byung has a very good chance of beating Life. I think Life right now against Mech, maybe not top tier.
Yep.
As far as what he's comfortable with, and Byung is very good at Mech, and the map pool overall is pretty good for Mech. And then as far as Stork goes, I think he has potential to beat everyone in this group.
I think you're right. I think a lot of people will be underestimating Stork.
Yeah.
Problem is,
if there's one Protoss I don't want to give him, it's SOS.
yeah,
Because SOS is like, he's the type of player that it doesn't even matter like how good you are, how good you prepare. He might just do something that completely ruins
let me put it
whatever
like
you have
this.
prepared.
Let me try to sum up what you're saying. SOS is probably the best in like a best of 3 or a best of 5. He might not have like the best ladder rating, but when you go several games in a row against this guy, and chances are he's going to beat you. But first, let's talk about Stork. So this guy was easily top 4 Brood War of all time.
That's right.
Now, normally you'd hear somebody say top 3, but I would say he was right at 4 in the rank. I think it was Flash, Jaedong, Bisu, and then Stork.
That's generally how it was considered,
Yeah.
for sure. But like the top 4, I don't like to really differentiate between them, except to say Flash was better than the others. But
I think you're basically right.
He's god tier. He's god tier. He's like, if there were 6 Protosses that were god tier Protosses in StarCraft 1 in its prime,
And there were.
and yeah, they were called the Dragons.
Dragons.
And
Dragons!
the one whose builds you would copy if you could would be Stork.
Yeah.
Like, the person whose in-game skills you'd have if you could would be Bisu, but the guy whose builds you copied
Were Stork.
were Storks. And he has actually brought that into StarCraft 2. Like, when he's playing well, his builds are amazing. Like, he has like more units than you would expect. He has, at funny timings where I feel like you could win a lot more games. Like, if you gave him Parting's execution and control or something, like, this guy would easy top 4. You know?
Now, something else important to note here, and we rarely have this, especially nowadays in StarCraft 2. This guy you're looking at right here, he's a coach.
Yeah.
He does coaching, so that's very rare. Now, SOS, this player, I believe he won the largest prize pool in one city.
Twice.
Oh, yeah, that's right, twice, yeah. He is fantastic, and he also seems to understand the game on almost like this completely different level.
Yeah.
And you know, if you play or follow a lot of StarCraft, you'll see this where about 80 to 90% of the people are having success in playing in this one way.
Yeah.
And then there's this 10 to 20% that are approaching the game. They just seem to understand it or the rule system very differently. And this is one of those guys, and this makes SOS incredibly difficult to prepare for. However, I would say if there was a person who could prepare for it well, it would be Stork in this situation. Stork is the guy who can tailor builds. I think the problem, though, just to go back and I almost counter my own point here as I'm like debating myself.
Yeah.
At the same time, it's really going to be also about reading SOS throughout this builder process. Can he do that right?
Yeah, and that's very tough, especially in PvP here. You know, we'll see what SOS brings to the table here today. I think Stork is going to be well prepared. He's thirsty to do well in StarCraft 2. When you're that good at StarCraft 1, it's like, and you keep playing StarCraft 2, it can be tough. But let me say, you learn a hell of a lot more trying to teach other people.
Yeah, that's very true.
Since he's a coach, I'm sure his understanding of StarCraft 2 has skyrocketed.
I don't know if you would agree with this, but I felt like I learned so much more when I started casting as well.
Absolutely.
Just having to talk about the game out loud.
Having to actually put into words what has gone on.
Yeah.
Like, I'm 1,000,000,000% smarter about StarCraft 2.
Now we just mechanically a lot slower, but
exactly.
Yeah.
I just don't get to play enough to be any good.
So what we need to do is make all that esports money and retire and then go back into being pros so that you and I can win Legacy of the Void in Archon mode.
GSL 시즌 3.
That song is sick.
It's a HOT6 song.
That was a great song. I've got to remember to go check that. Over here in the upper left, in the red.
진에어 그리닝스 SOS.
In the bottom right, in the blue.
삼성 갤럭시 스톡.
I gotta say, I like the new voice actress we're using
Yeah,
to
it's
intro
really
the
good.
voices. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely do agree with that. Well, I guess we just sit here and chill for a little bit. Very excited about this group, though. I think it absolutely any two players could get out today.
Guys, tell your friends to tune in here because this group's gonna kick a lot of ass, and I'm really looking forward to seeing who's getting out. And I really want Stork, as an older dude who played a lot of RGS growing up. I would like to see the older dude who's still able to make a career out of it.
Veteran,
Move on,
yeah.
yeah.
Well, so far SOS is 4-0 against him, but none of that is from this year, so it doesn't count.
And I believe the latest of those years was 2013.
There was a 2014 match.
Oh, excuse me. Okay, then I didn't catch that, but still, that's plenty of time. Stork can be a completely different player by then.
Indeed, especially since he's been coaching.
Important to note as well is that Stork was somebody who wasn't good like Slayer's Boxer was in the early game, the early years of Brood War. He's somebody who showed up much later.
Yeah,
by
absolutely.
comparison.
And I mean, a lot of that does have to do with his age as well. You know, right
Certainly.
now, since Bomber was eliminated on Wednesday, Stork is the oldest remaining player in GSL at the moment. But yeah,
how old is he? Is he what?
he was 20. He was born in '88, so he's
Born
like
in 88. Okay.
27.
I'm not doing math on TV. I don't know. You're on
It's
your
not his
own on that
birthday
one.
yet. It's not his birthday yet. I think it's his birthday's soon. In fact, your birthday's soon.
Yeah, it is. That's right. I keep forgetting that. Yeah,
I do too. But I keep getting birthday invitations to your party with a link to your Amazon wish list.
I think I'm going to be casting on my birthday. Is that correct?
No.
I don't.
Yeah, actually.
I am. Yeah, I think I'm going to be here
Heroes of the
casting
Storm. I believe.
Oh, is it? Yeah, is it Heroes
I
of
believe
the
it's
Storm?
next Tuesday. Yeah.
I actually got reminded by somebody that it was coming up, but yeah, man.
Yeah, that happens with my birthday too. It's just
This is what happens when you get older. Is you just
it just so doesn't matter.
yeah. Welcome to the studio, guys.
Welcome,
Thank you
guys.
for coming down.
Man,
For those of you guys watching at home, you're always welcome
Yeah.
in our studio. It is the one of the quintessential Korean experiences is to come out and experience an esports event. You won't see anything else like it on a regular basis in the world.
Indeed.
Now look at this interception here by Stork.
Yeah.
I really like this.
Now this, you're definitely right. This is cool.
This
because
is we don't normally see it's comboed to push out
It's a nice
the first stalker.
It's a nice little catch. He has to be careful not to lose the mothership core, obviously,
Right.
Because he is going for quick blink. And SOS is doing like a 2-gate, like 3 stalker pressure, but he's going to be completely fine against this. And we see that SOS wants to expand, and that's going to be completely fine against what Stork is doing. These two builds kind of are a wash against each other.
Yeah.
Like, no one has like a big edge. Of course, Stork could get very aggressive with this and maybe get something to happen, but the Nexus is pretty much quick enough that you don't expect that he's going to lose anything, really.
And we see him pushing in here. Notice nice control so far here by... oh, nice. Actually gets the pick on there. Whoa! Probe's actually catching that stalker. And the other two stalkers will now leave.
Now,
And a bit of a trade there. We do have both sides with one bruised stalker.
really important to note that he saved his photon overcharge and lost a stalker instead. That was very, very intentional by Stork.
No, absolutely.
And that was because if there is a strong follow-up, then that's something he may need, is that photon overcharge. Like, he is really being careful about utilizing that. And if an Oracle flies in anything like that, he traded that for safety.
Whoa, okay, so we have SOS pushing up now. Excuse me, Stork pushing up now. Now, let's go back to that saved photon overcharge there. That is pretty impressive. You know what that goes back into? Is one of his builds. right? He knows in the build he has to bank that no matter what.
Yeah,
So-
it's a huge safety precaution. But here we go. He's actually going to start pushing down now. Now, see again, the Nexus was quick enough that we weren't really afraid that he would lose it. Like Stork can get aggressive here, but
Oh, nice.
the aggression
Alright.
not really doing anything. And I almost feel like he's over creating stalkers, but he's making so many at this point. I think he has to commit and really get some damage done.
Important to note back that we saw a pylon that was SOS built where the Nexus would be there for Stork. Now Stork actually 2 times over here, almost just by sheer luck, but he's coming up there right as probes are being transferred.
Yeah.
And actually managing to get more kills than he would you'd normally expect. But I think with this Immortal present here, oh, did you see that? That was a hallucinated Immortal.
Yeah.
That was...
That's SOS
This
for
is
ya.
a good PvP.
Indeed it is.
This is exactly why we have a fantastic group. These guys both being so smart.
This is a little bit nerve-wracking, though, for Stork, right?
Sure.
He hasn't really done enough damage to have made all these. Now he's starting to poke up and do a little bit here and there, but the Nexus is so much slower for Stork, and you can see that reflected in SOS getting quite a lead as far as the tech goes. He's getting multiple Immortals out here. He's obviously got a nice economic advantage, but not really that high in probes because some were picked off.
Yeah. And had that not happened, this game, we would probably say it was it's a slighter lead here for SOS, but other things to note here is that SOS has a more developed tech because Stork did elect to get so many Stalkers early on here.
Yeah, and
What did we just see killed off there? We got the tail.
oh, that was just the plate.
Oh, okay, all right.
But this is the point. You see that forge? Well, I guess you don't see it, but there's a forge making at the moment. So SOS is like, okay, you can't kill me. He feels completely safe, completely at ease with 2 Immortals at the top of the ramp. You know, as he should. This paltry force of Blink Stalkers not going to want to try to get up there. That would be ill-advised, to say the least.
These Stalkers that were out here that are now going to be pushed away are mostly just there to intercept any small unit leaving to try to scout around. Since PvP is, I'd say out of, I think maybe all the matchups, the one where there's the most map ambiguity about what's going on. Even when you have observers, they don't have great vision. They're not very fast, so you can hide a lot of stuff. So just having the Stalkers out there to stop a probe or anything else like that is pretty handy.
Certainly the case. By the way, just while we're kind of sitting here watching the to and fro go on, do you remember what Stork's nickname in Korea was? It was like the Admiral of...
Oh, I was always bad about the nicknames. Even
it was
when I
like
started
really
casting
funny. It was
for
a
War.
weird nickname. Like
Well, the thing
Flash was
that
the ultimate weapon.
The nicknames,
and-
because the Korean commentators would make them up for the players, but I always felt like they didn't quite translate into English correctly. I
Yeah.
think it was Zelos was the red sniper.
Oh, no, that was Flashin.
Flashin, excuse me, the red. And I'm thinking like
I
the
think they
Reds.
called Zealous like the perfect Terran, if I recall correctly.
I think it was Hurricane Terran.
No,
Oh no,
that-
Tornado. No, that's not a. No, wait. Okay, as this is now being exemplified, I was really bad at remembering what the Korean commentators would nickname him. But
That's
I was-
okay. That's okay. I'm just trying to remember because Stork's was especially funny. It was like, it really didn't translate well. It was like really janky in English, like the Admiral of having enough stuff and knowing what to do or something like that. It was like, I'll have to look it up later, guys. But it was an interesting nickname for Stork back then. But yeah,
there were some in the early days of Brood War, the non-Korean players would start to make up their own stupid nicknames for themselves.
Oh god, that was so funny. I called myself the MacGyver Terran.
The MacGyver Terran.
And I put in my profile and people were so angry.
Last Shadow was calling you Captain Careful, the Terran.
Yeah.
And then I was calling myself the Chainsaw Pro.
Oh, yeah,
that was in my
so
profile.
dumb.
And whenever I'd kill a nerd, I'd type in
Oh man. Good
Yeah, man,
times.
good times, good times.
Well, you see, Stork continues to try to do something here.
Yeah.
And also he's brought up because, look, he still has Blink. He has a few sentries here. He has his Mothership Core and a couple of Immortals. So, like, because his opponent doesn't have Blink, this is actually kind of safe for him to be able to do right now. He can kind of move around the map a little bit more. There's no real force field squashing out yet. Just the very first Colossus has popped for Stork, and of course we'll have one soon for SOS, but looks like he's trying to get something. Like, if SOS goes out of position, he'll lose some units immediately.
We got the Warp Prism coming in here now.
Nice move here by SOS.
Yeah, and he could probably dump those Zealots there and then actually do a Warp in here in the main.
Really,
And this is a really, good
nice.
punishment because I would almost go so far to say that Stork has left those stalkers out for way too long. I don't think he was garnering anywhere near as much benefits. When you have something like a 3-base Protoss versus a 3-base Protoss, and you can interrupt mining like this, that is the easiest way for a player, for instance, like SOS here, to get ahead.
You're certainly right about that. I think the problem is that his opponent got so many more Immortals, and thus a better unit composition overall, that Stork was really looking to try to get some damage done. So, like right now,
at least to blink in there if he tries to leave or something, I guess. But still, I mean, the problem is like it's almost like there are two responses, but neither is perfect.
Yeah,
and this really does go back to the early builds of Stork.
It's here. SOS got the faster expand, and he skipped blink, so he had to stay still for a long time.
And he got his Robotech up fast. So
yeah,
there you
so
go.
he has more Immortals, and because of the extra economy, he has more Zealots right now. So overall, his composition definitely better, but that's not to say that Stork can't hold on right now. Like we're closer to his base. He's getting out his Colossus. He can stand in a nice defensive arc. You know, he can do all sorts of defensive maneuvers to try to kind of dissuade SOS from attacking him. And if he does do that, then eventually they're going to get max, and a lot of it will come down to control. But of course, unit composition, a very important part of this.
So now we have Stork pushing out here. Map control is going to SOS. And it's going to be up to Stork to try to figure out how to get out of this. And on this map specifically, if you get contained and you're in like this late of a game, you see the 2 ramps here as you would move up to the left and the top. It's very hard to get out of there if SOS makes a nice concave around that.
Great move right there by SOS, by the way. A few extra volleys, man. That's a lot of damage on your units. It's a lot of shields gone and whatnot.
Now, I don't think SOS...
Oh!
Whoa!
Sick feedback right there. Time Warp, one of the most important things in this matchup, guys. And here we go. Stork saying, this is my time. Throws down a nice Time Warp. SOS has to pull back. Of course, he is up about 20 supply. But look at this. More Colossi actually hitting SOS's Colossi, forcing him back. And he has enough mana for another Time Warp if he wants to use one. All right, that's a pretty good Time Warp right there. He's pretty close to the wall, though, and a huge warp in of Zealots over to the top. Coming down on top of Stork, he just doesn't have enough supply here.
He chewed through the bulk of Stork's army, and that allows the Colossi of SOS to then kind of shove forward here and take him out. And that's game. That's it. Game 1 does go to SOS.
Yeah.
Now, a part of that was, the impressive early game by both those guys, but even though he got that feedback up, I don't think Stork should have attacked there. I don't think that actually is ever going to work. Stork was in a better position when he stayed back.
He wanted like a full retreat, I think, from SOS with that. Like, be like, okay, look, I have Time Warps, you don't, because Time Warp dictates battles strongly.
See, now this is not the strong point you think of when you think of Stork. You think of the builds. Now, what happened was he got that, he killed the Mothership Core, and he thought, oh my god, I got to go in there and just attack. But it was a bad decision to make in a split second.
The extra 20 supply for SOS was actually just too much. Like, Stork actually had the other advantages at that point, but SOS just had more.
Also, if you see where the Time Warp from Stork landed, that got like 4 Zealots in it.
Yeah.
So it's not... not doing much.
I think the most surprising thing for me here, Tasteless, is the fact that Stork continued to warp in Stalkers when he saw the Nexus. Because, like, the thing that fast expand is safest against, the build order you're looking for, is your opponent going Blink. Because Blink won't ever kill you. So, I'm a little bit surprised that he just kept that up, because that's actually the beginning part of the snowball. Is he kept making Blink Stalkers, didn't get anything done.
Right.
Late Nexus, later Tech, which means more Immortals, and then quicker economy, which equals more Zealots for SOS, and that extra supply is what beat Stork there.
We're going to go on to the map Coda now. Excuse me, we're going to go on the map Coda now.
Coda S, more like it.
Let's see how SOS and Stork do against each other in our second game and our first best of 3 today. The round of 32 in the GSL Code S. In the upper left in the red, he is
진에어 그릴링스 SOS.
Strong play. Good build order. One he's liked a long time.
in the bottom right in the blue.
삼성 갤럭시 스토어.
What's
All right.
up, Artie?
Well, I'm excited about this group still. Like, yeah, SOS won that game, but you know, a little bit of a slight build order advantage. Like, the thing is, it's very tiny if you just immediately make a Nexus when you see a Nexus. But you know, Stork decided to try to do some damage, couldn't. So I'm like, all right, this is still. I mean, Stork can still take this series. Absolutely possible.
Thanks for coming down, guys. Welcome to the studio.
Yeah. So your friend there doesn't have earbuds?
Tell your friend welcome to the studio. For
Yeah. Let them know. Tosa say hi.
I think we actually, as of late, running out of earbuds.
Yeah. I wonder, like, I bet you, like, at least a few of those headsets have been stolen, because that just happens. Like, I bet you someone stole one.
Yeah, one of our was like someone was taking him home, and I'm like, oh, that's too bad.
It's you can't hear us from home with
yeah,
those.
yeah.
Return
Don't bring those back to wherever you're from. It won't work at home, guys.
Their distance doesn't go over the ocean.
Yeah. Yet.
Well.
We see SOS now sending his probe out here, just checking around the exterior of his soon-to-be second base to see if there's any proxy pylons, anything.
Yeah, it's just slightly different build orders here for the two. SOS opting for a few more minerals, which gives him his core a little bit quicker. Stork hiding a pylon in his natural. You know, that's a fine line game, because that's like, unless your opponent's already doing an aggro build, that won't hurt you. And against SOS, I don't think you want to get too mind gamey, because he will probably beat you at that, right?
Think so.
Yeah. The mind is his playground.
You are a poet.
Yeah. I really.
It's good to be back here, man. Actually,
Yeah.
I went on a vacation last 2 weeks. I was in Hong Kong.
Yeah.
A fantastic city, but
Did you have a nice vacation?
I did. It was a good vacation.
That's great.
You know, I gotta say the harbor on Hong Kong is absolutely beautiful.
Oh, isn't it? The skyline too is just insane.
It's really impressive.
Definitely one of the most impressive cities I have ever
Yeah.
been to, and I've been to a hell of a lot of cities.
Yeah, it's a pretty amazing place. But I did miss casting a little bit, so it's good to be back here.
Well, casting missed you, Tasteless.
Esports
StarCraft
missed
almost
me.
died when you left.
I had to come back in here and breathe life into StarCraft's
into the
mouth.
wet corpse of StarCraft. It's spitting up water right now, trying to recover.
I had to rush to the studio and give StarCraft CPR
Dude.
right there. I was the only guy to do it.
As of Wednesday, StarCraft's lips were cold. Okay, it was a real issue, man.
Well, I'm glad we cleared that up. I'm sure there was, if there was, which usually is someone talking about whether or not this game is dead in Twitch chat. It's okay, guys. Now you can finally go to the MOBA channel and start trolling people on which MOBA is better there.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
Well, we got both these guys going for Blink
Yeah.
right now.
Just slightly different ways. SOS opened with 2-gate again. That's one really great way to play a series of PvP, is to 2-gate every time and just do different things behind it. That's something when we see a lot of high-level PvPs in a row from pros, we oftentimes see mixed into series, because you have to be afraid of everything. You have to be afraid of 3 stalker pressure, 5 stalker rushes, Oracle, Blink, Expand. Like, you can do anything behind it. It adds the possibility of a very strong early rush. So, wow.
That just happened, guys. He just baited out the Nexus cannon with a hallucinated Oracle.
You know what? And this is SOS's brilliance. He saw that Stork refused to use his Nexus cannon before.
Yeah.
Probably because he was saving it for an Oracle. So he's like, you know what? I'm going to make a Sentry and send a hallucinated Oracle, and then you're going to waste your Nexus cannon. It's going to be sick.
Yeah.
And you know what, Tasis? Ask me if it was sick. It was sick!
That was actually really nicely done. I want to go back to what you were talking about a little bit earlier. The builds, the build that he picked back there, it's one of these builds that it could hint towards a rush, but it also is ambiguous enough you could segue into. You can not do anything like that at all and just go into a normal game. And I think these are probably out of all the builds that you see in StarCraft, those are the best. And hold up a second here, SOS now going to gun down 2 stalkers, and in a game where both these builds are quite similar early on. to get ahead in the Stalker count is probably one of the biggest leads you could possibly get without winning right away.
Stork has to turtle really hard here because if SOS just went across the map right now, he could probably kill him. Because Stork is doing like a much greedier blink, like a much quicker Nexus, as you see. You know, the Robo is actually after Nexus instead of before. SOS played very safely this game. He even got the Sentry to scout. Like that shows a lot of confidence from SOS. Just complete safety this game. And now with that Stalker League, as you say, like he has map control basically forever right now, until we have like giant Deathball armies.
Yeah, that's true. PvP is kind of a funny match because you can do so many builds, but there are moments where it is very unforgiving. Even in something that we would dismiss much more quickly, like losing a few Marines in a TVZ, it's like, oh, but if you lose Stalkers like that, that really, you know,
that can
shifts the entire position that you were in before.
Yeah. Early game Stalkers are just the most important thing by miles in PvP.
Yeah.
Just by forever. You can out-micro everything, but it's okay. Like, Stork has made it through that dark moment. Like, if SOS had gone and attacked immediately, which of course he didn't know, he could have probably killed Stork. But, I mean, you can't even tell that, so it's not something you have to worry about too much. And when he's playing safe like this anyways, I mean, that shows confidence, right?
Yeah, absolutely. So this is going to be, this should be, just judging from the looks of it, a bit of a longer game here. I don't think there's much they can do. I think we're going to have to wait for them to kind of flesh out the tech tree a little bit more.
It's much more even this game. Like, right now, Stork actually does have the lead, but it's much more even. And we saw last game, you know, SOS got a bit of a lead and then just, like, ended up just kind of killing him because he's like, okay, I know right now I have good 15 supply, at least more than you. So, but that's not going to happen this game. You know, unless Stork does some sort of big misstep. And he's keeping up on the Immortal count. His defense is fine so far. His scouting is fine. His upgrade is just barely behind. And he's going to start his Colossus first again. So these are all good things for him.
You know, I don't want to say the problem with PvP, but the factor to keep in mind in PvP is just always that Colossus count. Who has more and how do they hit each other? It's like all the other units are important, but nowhere near as much as the Colossus are when you get to this phase of the game.
The Colossus fudges a lot of math.
Yeah, it's funny because we've been casting StarCraft II for about 5 years now, but there was a point in time where I just had to, somewhere in the back of my head, I eventually just had to say, I need to never call a PvP battle again when it's maxed out armies in Colossus. Before it happens, I sort of just have to try to articulate what I can see out of this, because even when I see the two players playing them, I like how you said it. It fudges a lot of the math about what we have.
It's kind of like, you know, when you like putt really closely at a mini golf, and like your dad might have been with you, and like,
hold up,
little snipe going down.
Yeah, got the mothership core there.
Okay, that was good for SOS.
Anyways, go ahead. What were you saying?
It's like maybe you were playing putt once with your dad, and like you got the ball really close, like 5 times, or he did, or something. Like, just you use your foot and you just like kick it in because it's right next to it. You just like pushing. You're like, let's go to the next hole.
Your foot is the Colossus.
Yeah, it's kind of like, I don't know, and the Colossus just kind of like kills enough that like you can win. It's like, the Colossus fixes a lot of problems, but the matchup is
it fixes
really
a lot of problems,
technical right now too.
It is.
So,
but it's so much a matchup of navigating around. All right, well, we're eventually going to have these two armies that it's really kind of weird how damage is distributed and how the units move as a group. Yeah, it's kind of interesting thing to note there. Anyways, we got the third base Nexus over here for Stork starting up here. SOS just sort of, in some ways,
still quite close.
It's close. I'd say it's maybe just a tiny lead, but
I would say Stork right now in a lead. Because the only reason I say it is because he has more probes. So his economy is a little bit smoother right now, which means that he should be able to really get his macro rolling and max out. But like, if the thing is, you have to look at the tech units first. And Stork has more Colossi right now. He has 3 against 2. They have the same amount of Immortals. The Sentry counts don't really matter that much. But then you look at the Zealots, and SOS has way more. So like in a battle on open ground right now, SOS would probably just barely win. But like, it's super close at the moment, basically.
Okay, well, he did bait out the recall there.
Yeah, that's really good.
And that is going to make no one exactly in control of the map here. And Stork going to seize on this opportunity, push out, and try to claim some territory here in the lower center left. If you notice in this map, there's like 4 diamonds that you kind of can move around on. But you definitely need to get some high ground control here. It also makes, though, because it's low ground in the middle, much harder to actually run up and engage. Why are you laughing at me?
You said 4 diamonds, and like all I can think about is the movie Congo. I just see like out of all these things, like just giant gorillas jumping down, but then the Colossus laser just rips them all in half, and then lava comes out and everyone runs. Like
that was the movie where the
talking gorilla,
the talking gorilla that looked like it had a power glove on.
Yeah, Amy was her name.
Amy, good gorilla. Bad gorillas go away.
Yeah.
Speaking of which, we have an attack coming up here, and I notice there's 1 Colossi stuck in the back, so it's a 3 versus 4, but damage not exactly being distributed entirely evenly. SOS is blinking back here to try to widen the concave. I think in a moment like this, you kind of want to focus on the Immortals here on the low ground, see what they're shooting where. So we got one now targeting down that Colossi over there in the upper left.
And this is absolutely going to go to Stork Tasteless.
Yeah, he just barely got it in there. And nowhere to run, nowhere to hide. Boom, 1-1. We're going to match number 3 here with Stork against SOS.
And again, guys, he knows what the hell he's doing, all right?
He does.
This guy is a brilliant pro gamer. I mean, you don't get ahead of him early. I mean, his mechanics are never going to slip, ever. Okay, like you can't even mechanically. StarCraft 1 was harder than StarCraft 2. Okay, there's more.
There literally is no debate about that.
Yeah, there isn't. So basically, what that leaves is for Stork to figure out the strategy in the micro, right?
Yeah.
And he's a coach now, so the strategy better be something that he's pretty damn comfortable with.
Yeah,
or
you're
why is he
absolutely
a coach?
Yeah.
And then it's like, okay, can you control these battles correctly? And I mean, he's doing all right. He's doing all right. He was never like super known for micro. Okay, that's not his strong point. But doing well enough right now.
Well, this is what makes StarCraft as one of the longest. Actually, I guess it is the StarCraft and Street Fighter and Mortal Kombat are the longest competitive games.
When was Counter-Strike released? Because that's been competitive forever too.
StarCraft is older than Half-Life.
Seems like Quake. No. It's still just.
There's at least 3 nerds watching right now that are very angry with that.
There's still just the same 10 guys going every tournament in Quake.
Yeah, man.
Raffle won again.
You
Can you believe that?
Warcraft 3 had a long run.
That guy must have won like $20 million by now off of Quake cons.
Well, I'll tell you something, man. Fatality was like the first retired pro gamer, man. But that was a small pool of players to play against. It was the 10 guys that couldn't get nausea while playing that game.
Well, last map going to be Terraform.
Terraform. It is. We're going to go into game number 3 now. It is loading up SOS against Stork. We got one of the greatest Brood War players easily of all time against, out of StarCraft 1 and StarCraft 2, as far as Protoss goes, SOS probably the trickiest and brainiest players that have ever been. So this is going to be a fantastic matchup. Let's see who moves on.
시즌 3.
In the upper left, in the blue, he is.
진에어 그리닝스 SOS.
In the bottom right, in the blue.
삼성 갤럭시 스톡.
No, but wait, why were you talking about older games? I was going somewhere with that. Then I remembered that we had.
StarCraft's been around forever.
It's been around forever. Oh yeah, that's right. What I was going to say is that one thing that's nice about that is you really do get to see different playstyles and personalities kind of come out.
Certainly, and I do want to say something about this, like just a fan fiction moment. If Stork was to win, hold on.
Okay.
What if the
Go ahead.
finals of GSL Code S this season was Stork versus Flash? What would happen? What would happen?
I don't even know.
Like, if the finals of GSL Code S, the last one of 2015, was Stork versus Flash, I want League Worlds to go on at the same time and just see how dumb the human race is. Because everyone better be watching that, man. That would be the most exciting thing that literally ever happens in our lifetime. We could meet aliens, not as good.
Not as good.
They'd probably come, we'd meet them during the match, but it would be overshadowed by the match.
Here's my esports fan fiction moment.
That's my fan fiction right
Is Flash is there in the finals against his mystery opponent, right? You win a GSL, and then you have to face the true champion, and that's when Artosis, a light comes down on Artosis, and he's got his wireless headset and mic.
And then I go, it's Bisu! And he rises out of the stage.
No, that's when Artosis walks down to the booth and casts while beating Flash in the greatest match of all time.
That's erotic fan fiction.
That is That's what I want to see.
Well, anyways,
I want to see Artosis casting and beating Flash at the same time. And when you're doing the play-by-play of engaging his arm, you're like, and I'm wrecking all this stuff in the upper right, and over here he's losing all this.
And this game, I'm proxying this Oracle, killing the SCVs.
He has no idea. He has no clue.
One base immortal push. Those would be the type of builds I'd have to use.
Yeah.
By the way, like, just jumping into the game for one moment.
Sure.
SOS, like I was talking about in the previous game, like a true strategy in a PvP best of X series is to 2-gate every game, and you see him doing that again. So this is just like misinformation.
This is what we call masking.
Yeah.
It's just.
I
really
guess we could call it masking. Do we call it masking?
I call it masking from time to time.
Okay.
I did that more before I casted with you, but occasionally I pull out the old school phrases.
Yeah. Soft push, hard push.
No, it's a soft contain, hard contain. Clearly, you were not a fan of my original work, Artosis.
I got to be honest with you, Avertech Intel Classic, I muted it.
Did you see?
It's like, who is this jobber? It's like, well, it's a guy that lives down the street that you're going to have a beer with afterwards. I'm like, oh. He's like, did you hear that joke? I'm like, yeah, it was funny. Okay, let's talk about something else.
I don't know if it's probably somewhere on YouTube, but there was this really embarrassing video they made me do where they made me wear like these like Kanye West sunglasses and like lean forward, and I got like really like helmet helmet here.
Like an old
I'm like
gold
the
microphone.
GS, yeah. This is
you truly were a shill of GOMTV from the beginning.
I think you guys could probably find it on YouTube. It's pretty funny. I remember when I'm doing it, I'm like, well, I'm really out of my element here, but I guess this is going to happen.
Indeed.
I really want this job. So,
guys, by the way, I want to point out real quick that Stork is probably going to beat SOS, I think, because right now SOS is actually doing a really heavy 3-gate off of this 2-gate opener, which is the thing he's trying to make him afraid of, but Stork is 100% ready for it.
Perfect force field,
more than 100%. There's no way he will die to this. He's about to have an Immortal. He has enough for a Nexus Cannon. He just killed a Stalker. Stork is in perfect condition to slap this down. So SOS is going to have to get a little bit creative. He's going to have to do a contain at the bottom of that ramp while expanding, but Stork has a big tech advantage right now.
SOS is going to have to make this work, but everything you said, Artosis, is right. I mean, it shouldn't. It would almost take Stork. Stork would have to almost mess up, like right-click the Immortal into the Stalkers or something. But I don't see that happening here.
Yeah, it's
also just check out the building setup here for Stork. Notice how inaccessible that is from the upper right side for those Stalkers to get in there and get probes.
Oh, it's just about impossible. The only one thing that could be a little bit scary is if he really commits, like SOS super commits, he might be able to get in there and get that robo.
This is one of those moments when you're in the booth, you're Stork. You're thinking,
dude,
all I have to do is control this right.
Yeah, he is going for it. We actually need to see Stork pull back a little bit here. This is actually because SOS is getting a really scary army. A one well-placed force field is going to allow those Zealots to kill everything if he doesn't get back into his mineral line.
Oh, and that is actually the force field that I think he needed.
Yeah, that was a huge force field right there, man. But he's targeting down the Stalkers as quickly as he can. If he can kill the Stalkers off, he's still got a chance here.
I don't know if the well, hold up. There's another Immortal coming out here now.
And look at that.
And I think that's going to actually drive out SOS here.
All right, and he actually, look at that, 3 sentries being warped. And SOS going for a super contain here, 4 sentries that bomb the ramp. Warp Prism on the way for Stork, knowing exactly how to react to this right now.
Yeah, Stork is one step ahead here. Artosis, are we actually going to cast Stork beating SOS?
Hell yeah, man. I'm going to cast him in the finals against Flash is what we're going to do, Tasteless. The fan fiction is going to
The
happen.
esports fan fiction is going to be real.
They're going to wait for the international finals to overlap, just try to prove me wrong. I'm like, no, I have faith in the human race that they would rather watch this. Evo is going to be taking. They're taking back the Evo medals. They're going to put that on at the same time on the
They're
Evo stage.
taking the Evo medals off of Daigo and just putting it on the fly. Yeah. Oh my God.
We also have Michael Jordan coming back for an NBA game that's played in the same place.
Done quick speed runs is happening. They got to take the Nintendo 64 controller away from Cosmo and give it to Flash to see then speed runs that. This is
I tell you, it would be the greatest thing that ever could happen. Greatest thing in our lifetimes, that's for sure. It's like the Battle of Troy in that. That's it, man.
You are hilarious today, man. This is. Well, let's not entirely count SOS out.
No, totally. He can do comebacks like nobody's
business.
business.
Let's remember that the Colossus is the unit in the late game here, and it's a little bit of fuzzy math when you get down to the battles.
Yeah, man.
About who's going to win, where it comes down so much to just the positioning and how they engage. So never count them out entirely.
Brilliant move from Stork once again. This is something you barely ever see anymore. Immortal drops. They were fantastic in Wings of Liberty, but then Oracles became too popular, and because of that, Blink became too popular, and both can counter this. But this is one of the only games that you're going to see where neither Blink nor a Stargate was made in a PvP, so he is going right into an Immortal drop, and this can do a hell of a lot of damage if you micro it right.
This is so smart.
It is brilliant. We will see, though, if he can execute this. Watch.
Well,
look,
hold up.
SOS is so smart.
No! And this, of course, would happen to Flash as he would lose the Warp Prism. This is, history does repeat itself. This is just like Flash flying his shuttle and Reaver into the Terran space he's now watching.
Stark?
Excuse me, yes, Stork flying his shuttle.
This is so sad.
That's
like the only thing that could have gone wrong.
Oh my God. No, seriously, how many Brood War games did you see where Stork's build was perfect, but when Brood War was a shuttle in the Reaver, the shuttle drunk drives into a turret and it's just like
that's how he plays. Stork doesn't babysit shuttles ever. It's like actually like an issue in his play since the beginning of time. Like I told this story about he would still win after losing a shuttle full of Dark Templars as 4 units in a shuttle to 1 missile turret. I have seen it.
It's just so funny. It's so funny because as I was watching that Warp Prism fly up there, I thought, of course, Stork would be the player who would have this lead, and he would be about to move on to the winner's match, and would then fly that Warp Prism. And let me tell you something: if he doesn't make it out of this group today, that not just this game, but those few seconds are going to haunt him.
Well, look, it's absolutely not over. In fact, I still give Stork a lead here, to be perfectly honest with you. He's the one getting Colossus in range. We have, SOS is still having to try to catch up a little bit. He's finally caught up in probes, and he has like an okay-ish army at the moment and a Warp Prism and getting a Dark Shrine. So he's going to try to find some damage with that. If he does find that damage, he's going to be ahead, but if the Dark Shrine doesn't do anything, Stork is still totally good.
We got the Gateway explosion happening here. And this is PvP. It's been like this for about 2 years now. It's the I'm not going to take a third base for a little bit here. I'm going to maximize the number of units and tech I can have, and we're going to, because the guy who expands first is going to be the other guy just comes over and tries to attack him. So we're getting to that phase of the game here. Well, also I think PvP on this map, third base is a little bit weirder to take, you know?
Yeah, sure.
We've had a couple maps.
It's a little bit weirder.
It looks like with the map makers in StarCraft II, at least in regards to the maps we're using here at GSL, there's been some experimentation here with making the third base a little bit less accessible. I know about a year and a half ago, it was every map was like third base was it's always going to be a home run. You're always going to get it, but it's a little bit different now.
Certainly the case. We do see the DT drop coming up, and he only has 1 observer to his name right now. These DTs already doing some really good work, for sure. That's painful. Definitely took a lot more damage. Oh my God.
Where is his observer?
He only had 1, but now he has a second. So.
But do we know where that observer is?
He has 1 in the main, 1 in
there
the
it is. There it is. Okay, yeah, I see it now. To the right of the Nexus. Let me tell you something. This is the quintessential. I'm going to lose my mind moment as a Protoss player in a PvP is when the DT gets in your base and you have 1 observer and shame on you. You don't know where you put it. You had that? You're like, it's somewhere in
Dude,
here.
that's why I put the grab all units hotkey back, because I took that off because I don't like it, because it pulls all my observers out of position.
Yeah.
But specifically for PvP in that moment, I put it back in.
Yep.
Just in case. And every now and then I lose a warp prism on big maps. I'm like, where is it? Oh my god! Then I find out it died. I'm like, oh. But yeah.
I'm trying to think of something that compares to that feeling of bad as the where's my observer moment, but I guess it would also be when you do the build where that's centered around the fact you made a warp prism and you flew it in to a turret, or in this case stalkers.
Yeah, and it has 2 immortals in it.
It has 2 immortals, which are basically the most important units. But you knew if you did that strategy and you just pulled it off, it would actually get you even more ahead. But unfortunately,
or if you just looked at it
for
and
whatever
pulled it
reason, you thought it was more important to make sure your gateway was in the right spot when you were making it in your main.
Yeah.
Like, you didn't want to have them. You had to get a little bit OCD about that, make sure they were all lined up perfectly, and so you weren't watching that warp prism in this case.
It's no joke lining up your buildings right. When I have messy buildings, man, that's the feng shui is off.
Yeah.
Zealots get warped in my main base. I can't get to them right because quite literally the building placement is wrong.
Yeah.
The flow of energy and thus Zealots is off.
Yeah.
And everything just falls apart.
We got SOS, excuse me, pushing out now. He's in the south center.
All right.
Not going to lose his warp prism either.
Let's take a little look at what the armies and everything is looking like. Okay, so Stork is up in probes again, despite that before, but he plays a heavier probe PvP than SOS anyways. 3 Colossus each. We have 4 immortals for SOS, and then we have 1 immortal for Stork because he lost 2 in a warp prism that he wasn't looking at because he's Stork, and he wants to like play with my emotions.
Yeah.
And then it's 3 Archons against 2 Archons right now, and then same number of Zealots. So really, really close still. Everything is really lining up pretty normally. We have the 2nd Robo starting for Stork. That's actually pretty important to mention.
Is he using this warp prism to spot?
Yeah, I think so.
God, that's gutsy. How often do you actually see that? The warp prism being treated like a fast overlord there, and then he pulls it back to warp in more. Now, I don't...
Well, I like it. It's kind of like before. It's like this is one of the only games where you don't see Blink or Stargate, right?
Yeah,
it's just happened. Like, these games don't happen often, but they do happen occasionally. Little harassment there. Uh-oh.
I think we've seen more hallucinated, non-flying units in this game, in the series, I should say.
You know, SOS is always a player I just want to advance no matter what. But right now, I'd like nothing more than for him to not. Here we go, Tasteless.
I think this
That's some
angle
big time warps, but we have 4 Colossus here, 4 Stork.
It's important to note the hallucinated Archons here in the front. I believe that they're to tank, actually, Colossus hits. And we haven't really seen this that much. Let's actually go ahead and see if this just works out.
Well, we have another Colossus
this angle up here at the upper left, yeah, this is so unbelievably important.
Look at that, the pullback on that Colossus. It's at like 1 health right now, but Stork just doesn't have anything else to tank here.
These DTs are beautiful.
Yeah, they're really smart. He saved them all! He's got to be careful here, though. Those DTs, they looking for blood!
The DTs can actually zone out the Colossi.
Oh my god!
Because the high ground, or the the ledge, or between the top, the upper base and the lower base in these 2 shots, the Colossi can't make that trip. So yeah, the DT's just showing about SOS. Why so handsome? Like seriously, we've been casting for 5 years. We haven't quite seen a moment just like this one.
Yeah, it was fantastic.
This is a little unique snowflake of a game, different than any other.
Dude, the problem is he won the observer battle.
Yeah.
And like he had the observer, so you don't have an observer, and then exactly as you said, he zoned him out with DTs, and that's it, and he wins the game off that. Like only SOS, man. He's he's your guy for like weird ass moments like that.
I feel like
that
SOS
was fantastic.
Now look at this. Yeah, see the DTs. They
look at this. He's walking through. It's like
look at that.
Right now, Stork is like,
Stork's sitting here thinking, "Wow, that was really impressive." I know Stork will be upset, but I guess you almost want to say you can't be that upset because that was just so brilliant.
Like SOS is the king of like once in a lifetime moments. He truly is. He shows his unbelievable skill in this game, in this series.
Holy crap!
Just
man.
ridiculous.
That is so crazy.
That dark
we just saw that.
Dude, that's SOS for you. Like, and as I said, the only Protoss I wouldn't want to put Stork up against is this man right here.
You know what's funny? The DTs had a lot of different things they could do. That wasn't the only reason why he warped him in. It was smart to warp in the DTs as the follow-up.
Yeah.
Because what was remaining was not a bunch of Zealots and Stalkers, but the clunky big units, an Immortal, an Archon, a number of Colossus or Colossi. So what can you do with DTs? You can break them off and go into the main. But in that one moment, he actually saw, okay, his army's at the third base, the second base is undefended. I'll change my plan. I'll put the DTs on hold position and zone out the Colossus, go into the second, and win the game. I mean,
he's so good.
That is
stupid.
so crazy. Yeah.
SOS is just such a brain.
I feel like he's from the future. He got a time machine. He didn't go back and try to kill Hitler. He went back and he was going to just be the best StarCraft player. Okay, he was fine. That's what he's going to go do.
He's won a lot of money. It's working so far.
We are going to take a short little break, and when we return, we'll be going on to a TVZ for our second best of three here in today's GSL Code S.